fine. I think it's about damn time for us to start the show. Yes, hello, welcome everybody. I am Cabine, and this is Ring Ring Cat Calls. I should get my phone, right? That would be cute. Maybe I should like give the intro into the receiver. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This is my show that I do every Thursdays here on twitch.tv/Catbine. And today's guest is one of the most talented fresh voices on the scene. TSHA. TSHA hails from London, where she conjures exotic sounds full of magic and emotion. And people say things like, ooh, magic, and oh, it's so emotive, but this is for real. Like, there's a spiritual depth to her sound that speaks to some kind of timeless wisdom. But she's actually pretty young. I'm not sure her exact age. It's hard to explain. It's really best that you hear it yourself. It certainly pins itself on clean, layered percussion and rich organic elements. The percussion in her music is really fun to listen to. And while it is complex, it's very clean, like I said, which might explain why Ninja Tune, which is home to Bonobo, Marie Davidson, Bicep, Kamasi Washington, and a host of other legendary acts, picked up her first EP, Dawn, right out of the gate. And Dawn didn't even come out until 2018. She's truly a young voice on the scene. She's about to release her second EP, Flowers, which will also come out on Ninja Tune. I think her first EP came out on Counter, which is related to Ninja Tune. But before we get her on the cat line, I want to play for you the 2019 single Moon, which served as my introduction to TSHA's music. It's got steel drums and a whole bunch of other percussion, because remember, the percussion is a big part of it. And it's got wooden flutes, and it's got some kind of weird, I think it's an Asian instrument that always makes me think of the Tenchi Muyo introduction song. I don't know if any anime heads in the crowd have seen Tenchi Muyo. If you haven't, you should check it out. But first, just watch this Moon song. There's not a proper video. There is a visualizer for it. It's super, super good. Action Jackets, I think you should listen to it in particular because, like, these sounds. All right. When we come back, I will have TSHA on the line and we'll pick her brain. So get questions ready and yay, have a dance party. All right. How much coffee have I had? I don't know. These drums, I know, I tried to warn you, those drums are for real. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for me to bring TSHA? Yay, phone emojis, clapping. We're just gonna do it. You can already hear her. There she is. Yes, awesome. Thank you so very much for joining me, TSHA. It's great to have you. It's great to meet you. It's great to talk to you.
Of course, no, I've been excited to have a little chat with you.
Yes.
And you look awesome, as I was saying earlier.
Thank you. Hold on, now everyone can see that I'm doing a screen share. All right. Thank you. You look awesome as well. I happen to know that TSHA just had a wonderful bath, so she's very ready to get down and dirty with us.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, to get things started, we were just listening to Moon. And as I was telling everyone, your percussion in that song and in pretty much every song is amazing. On that one, it sounds like you're using steel drums and you've got some cool wooden flutes. I mean, this is all just based on my ears. I'm not sure what's really in there. But why don't you tell us about that song?
Yeah, so that song, I had like the actual bass part for ages on a completely different song, but like I made this bass and I couldn't find I just couldn't make anything work around it. I couldn't like just make it make sense of like other tracks, and I was like, I just left it. And then when I started on Moon, I started like making the drum beat and making like first no percussion, just like the drum beat, and then I started to make like the chord progression and the melodies and stuff like that. And then it got to like the bit where I was like, I'm gonna do a drop, and I was like, oh, I just wonder if the bass would fit in here. Put the bass in, and then it just worked. And then from there, I like kind of went back in and then added like the percussion, and then I got a drummer in to do like the drums. Like,
oh, cool!
Go over the drums and add other drum parts into there. And then that's basically I kind of have like a shortened version of how it forms. But usually I spend like a minimum about 40 hours on a track, kind of like get it from like start to finish.
Wow.
Usually.
Yeah. So you do use live drums, at least on that one.
That one has it has like a break beat that's been chopped up, and then it had a live drummer to play other parts in, and like some live percussion and stuff like that added
Yeah.
after.
What about that flute? Did you pull that off of like some pure mood CD, or was that like, do you have someone who plays it?
I'm trying to think about the flute. It might be just I might just I might just have flute samples and just like made the melody out of the flute samples, and then the steel drum is like it's an actual like instrument. It's like a real steel drum, but it's a computer instrument of it. If that makes sense.
Cool,
like
yeah.
So so that was played in like that, like not with real steel drums because I can't play steel drums.
Yeah, I mean maybe you should. I've always wanted to personally. They're so cool. I don't know.
Yeah, still like. They used to do a steel pan drum band at this little festival around the corner from me, and it was so good. Like they'd play all hit songs on the steel band,
Yes.
and then like Beyonce or something on it, like Crazy in Love would be played, and it was just so good.
That's awesome. Yeah, growing up in South Florida, I definitely heard my fair share of steel drums. It's like the sort of vibe you have when there's a beach nearby and tourists and like for sure.
Definitely screams holiday, isn't it?
Exactly. You are taking this call from London, which is where you live. Is that where you grew up?
No, I grew up in the south of England, so in a town called Fareham near Portsmouth. It's quite a small town, and I moved to London when I was 19. So I've been here nearly 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. What did your parents do for a living when you were growing up? Were they musically inclined? Did they have a lot of records playing while you were a kid? Like, do you blame them for this? No.
No. Well, my mum was into music. Like, she was into like dance music a lot. So she she was into first like reggae and dub and like that kind of music, and then she later on moved into like an interest in like jungle and I was like, I guess somehow some like house and techno, but mainly like jungle and like kind of she likes really hard hitting kind of beats or whatever. She's really into that. So when I was younger, my brother used to DJ as well.
Okay.
And so he had decks set up in our like living room, and he would just like when I was a kid, it used to be quite annoying because you'd be trying to watch like your cartoons and it's like booming downstairs like from the floor. Like she'd be like practicing on DJ, and my mum never told him stop. My mum loved it.
That's awesome.
She all the time. And yeah, so that was kind of like my introduction to like dance music and DJing, and like so sometimes I'd be downstairs like dancing or just like getting involved or whatever. But it was like all weekend it would just be him like playing. So that kind of like was my first introduction to like DJing and like music and like dance music. And I had like my mum loved clubbing. She was talking about going out like partying or like not like she didn't. The thing is, my mum didn't even drink very much. She was just loved dancing all night.
Yeah.
Like she's like partially deaf in one ear because she used to stand too close to the speakers when she went clubbing.
Shut up. My nightmare.
There's like these big sound systems, and she would be like dancing next to the speaker trying to like want the bass. And then so then obviously she got a bit older and then stopped going out. But she always like used to tell me it was so much fun, like dancing all night.
Yeah.
And that kind of got me excited. I couldn't wait till I was old enough to go out and like get involved in that kind of scene because it always had like a sense of like I don't know, like mystery and like I don't know. When I was a kid, it just felt like it was going to be such a great environment.
Right.
And I was so excited. And when I turned 18, I was actually disappointed, not with like the races, just because when I first went to like clubs, like they were kind of not playing like dance music. They were playing more like top 40, like music.
Right.
And I was really confused because in my head I had like warehouse grades in my head.
Right, because your mom was such an OG. You're like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
To those kind of like mystery raves that they send you a text message to where it was, and like you go to like an illegal rave in like a field or something, and none of that was all kind of over by the time I was like.
Damn.
So like, so I felt like I was missing out, but then when I came to London and I started to like go out here and the culture here is different, and I start to get more like proper clubs and rave scene and places like Fabric and stuff like that, then it kind of was like how I thought it was going to be, which is great.
Yeah, okay, but I just want to go back one time to the image I have of your mom in your basement with your big brother DJing and her being like, massive, yes!
My mum actually went out with my brother before. Like, my mum was like, she didn't go out much by the time we were like, I was born and stuff, but she went out like a few times. She actually went out at the same time to like the same rave my brother was at. Like,
And they didn't know
so
each other was going to be there?
No, they knew they were going to be
Okay.
there. Like, they got a lift there together. Like, they didn't hang out all night. They were like, a group of them came and he came with his friends and they all went to their rave. And then, because my brother's like 14 years older than me, so he was like in his like early 20s or whatever when they went out or down about there. And yeah, so they actually ended up being at like the same rave or whatever.
That's amazing. Life Escape says, oh my god, what a rad family. And I have to agree. That's so great. The family that raves together stays together.
Stay together.
I love that. What about you? What were like the records that made you just absolutely obsessed with music? Like, are there certain albums that you look back and you remember just kind of like staring at the cover art for an hour while you let it play or something?
You know what? When I was younger, the difficult thing was we didn't have loads of money, so like buying CDs. I don't know, CDs used to be really expensive.
I remember.
Like, most people like couldn't afford a lot. They would have like one or two of their favorite albums that they would just hold on to. But we really didn't have enough money for hardly any. I think like I didn't get my first CD till I was about 14. I think my brother got me like Destiny's Child hits or something when I was 14.
Nice.
So, like my birthday present or something like that. So like I used to only get music from when my brother was like DJing, or when my mum played some like a few records, or you know, like the free music channels that used to be on Preview on TV. So like that was the only time I'd see like what was happening in music, and it wasn't until like LimeWire.
Yes, shout out fucking peer-to-peer pirating, baby.
I didn't do it, but
sure.
if I did do it.
Me neither.
But LimeWire, obviously, like back in the day, that kind of opened the doors, even though obviously it was really bad. Now as a musician, I realise obviously like piracy was a bad thing. But,
right, it's stealing.
At the time, it is stealing, but I didn't have any money to like listen to music, so like I would just be like frantically like finding like if I hear an artist like I think like the Chemical Brothers or people like that, or Jason Jacks or something like that, I'd like find that on LimeWire download. And I remember on my 16th birthday party, I had like, because everyone else was listening to like top 40 stuff and I watched some of it, but then I had all this like old school like dance music burnt to the CD for my 16th birthday party. And I put it on like all night because at the time we didn't have like a DJ because my brother had stopped DJing at the time. I put that on and everyone was like, what is this he's listening to? And I'll be having like, hey boy,
hey girl, superstar DJs,
like going on like raving off in it, and everyone was like, can you play something like, you know, I don't know, Destiny Child or Backstreet?
Yeah.
Like,
what is this bullshit? We want Beyonce. You're like,
to be fair, I do love Beyonce still. She's still,
of course,
like,
queen.
She's still my thing, but
there's room for both. Is all I'm saying. There's room for both.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think like that's the kind of, I never really had like a CD cover to stare at because I just didn't like buy music like that. I just got it all from LimeWire and like just hear about things, and like I got some like garage as well when garage was like a thing. Like in UK, like the garage thing was like really big for a period, and then it wasn't until like obviously then YouTube came about, and then you could get like music videos and songs for free and watch them on YouTube, and so like I guess that was like from that point. After that, then I kind of didn't really listen to dance music that much until I got to university when I was 19, because there wasn't really any dance music clubs around when I turned 18, as I said before. So when I got 19, when I came to London, it was like kind of, I was studying dance, and it was there's a dance style. Yeah, there's a dance style that goes with house music. Like a house dance is an actual real style that has like music. Yeah, and they have like house dance battles, and it's like part of the culture.
Can you show me?
Don't really know.
Are you feeling frisky?
I have not danced in a long time, but there's a whole like style that went around it, and I learned about that at university and like got really into it, and then I started listening to like a lot more house music to do because of that related to the style, and I did like an essay on it was an essay about house dance, so there wasn't any like literature on that really, so you had to kind of look elsewhere into like kind of stuff about house music and the culture to find the stuff about house dance. And that's like when I fully got like properly educated on like kind of when it started, like the whole like culture around it, about it supposed to be like you know, like inclusive, and like it was kind of started by like gays and black people and Latino people that were feeling like kind of disadvantaged and just like there were disadvantages, and like and like house music brought them together, and it was like the DJ was like a preacher and next was like their church, you know what I mean? And I love that. And that's what really made me like emotionally invest fully into dance music.
That's like, really cool to hear. And I appreciate that you are, I don't know, can we say classically trained in house music? Like, you literally did your research and you know the history. Maybe that explains, when I listen to your music, I feel like there's so much depth to it.
Turn the light on.
Yeah, it's getting pretty dark. Your sun is going down.
I was just going to start it.
That's fine, no worries. You have your AirPods on, I think. You can keep talking.
I can keep talking.
That's a first. Okay. Are you at your house? Is this where you live? Is this your backyard?
This is my balcony. I'm at my flat.
Nice.
Okay, is that better?
It's a little bit better. I think right now we're in that strange twilight zone where like the light itself is, the sun is, you know, they're fighting. It'll get there though. That's cool. Thank you. Oh yeah, Life Escape again says, I wish I had formal training in house music.
I wish it. I don't know if it's formal training, but I definitely like know the culture and like the history and kind of what the sense of feeling you're supposed to create with dance music.
Right.
And it made you like really like it made me listen even more intently and like understand that like the emotion in it and like the purpose of it. And then I was like, okay, and like non-stop beats mean non-stop dancing, and that's why like dance beats like keep going, it keeps you dancing all night. And that's why with house dance it was so like interesting, because the idea of you is that people would go to the club on their own and they would do this dance all like this style of dance all night on their own, sweating, going all night.
Love
like,
it.
From all until like 6 in the morning, and then they'd go home and then they'd have to get ready for work or something like that, you know?
I love that. That is the best though.
I wish I was there when it kind of like it appeared, you know? I feel like I missed out on something then.
I know, absolutely. Being there at the inception of something really magical is just, we're lucky if we get a taste of that.
Definitely.
Oh, there you are. Now you're bright. Yeah, you are.
I'm like, I can see there's some like bright light. I didn't know if the light was up. We tried to turn it up earlier and it didn't go up. But I guess you know when it gets darker.
I know, exactly. It happened right before our eyes. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyways, as I was saying, it's interesting to hear that, and it makes a lot of sense, because I feel listening to your music that there is a depth of emotion that does seem to belie, I use the word wisdom in the sense that it's like growing on something. It's not shallow. So it's interesting to hear you say that you are thinking of the history of house music when you're thinking of like, what emotions should my music bring to the listener? I don't know. It's you said that is something that you're thinking. So tell me how that translated to the beginning of this music project. Is this music project the first time you made music, or were you making music as a kid and then kind of got into this place?
No, this is my first time. Obviously, I was learning for a while, practicing for a while, but 2018 was like my first release, so I'd been doing it for like, I don't know, on and off for about 4 or 5 years, like properly for 3 years, and then, I took my first project out on my own in 2018, and off the back of kind of becoming a fan of Bonobo, because I found his music so emotive, like that kind of touched me, and it sounds like really cringe, but you know, it like kind of like made me emotional, like on the dance floor. And I'd been to see him quite a few times. I loved the music, and then that kind of inspired me to be like, oh, this is what I want to make people feel. Like I want to do that as well. You know, I wanted to get into people's minds and like understand. You know, like because I know how I feel, and I feel like when I'm making music, I like listen to it quite a lot to see how I react and like what emotions it stirs in me, and then I hope that translates onto other people, you know?
Yeah. I certainly think so. I think there's a striking amount of emotive quality in your music. It definitely takes me on a little bit of a journey. I think maybe because you use so many cool organic elements, whether or not they're actually organic, like it feels visceral in a way. And going back to Moon, I wanted to talk to you as well about working with, what is her name? I have it here. Luna Martins. That's the artist that you work with.
Yeah.
Because that art, it aids in that journey, you know? It's like I feel like I'm looking at this, like, exotic person, and I'm like, where are we? There's Egyptian hieroglyphs. There's like, it feels kind of like African and Asian at the same time. I don't know. It feels like I went somewhere else. Talk to me about, the visual and working with Luna.
Yeah, so Luna, she went with me from the first project, like my first EP. I kind of like, I like art anyway, so I follow like a lot of like little Instagrams of people doing illustrations and stuff like that. And I came across her a while back, and then when it came to like the first artwork, I was like, I definitely want something like really interesting and intricate, and like I wanted a character, and like so when I contacted her and we worked together on the first one, and she also worked on my like single after that. And then by the time we got to like Moon for that Moonlight EP, the character was kind of out of this world, you know, like they weren't human, and I wanted to look like they'd just been like traveling like through time and space, like picking up like Egyptian stuff, pick up this, like they're like fully like.
I don't mean to gender the character, but she's carrying a lot of stuff. So
yeah, she like goes on and she just picks stuff up, and like there's the same character in all of them. Cause like in the other ones, so like she's like going through space. But I always like think of I've never done ayahuasca, but like I've read a lot about it, and like I've seen like the drawings of the artwork of people when they've done like what it's supposed to look like and stuff. And obviously this doesn't look exactly like the drawings, but like I like the idea of like this character being someone that was like part of the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, weird.
Yeah. No, I'm with it.
She's been through like time, space, like she can go through like countries, you know. So she's picking things up. So each scene is like her, like kind of, moving through things and like picking things up, and she's just badass. And
that's so cool.
As well. Something.
Is she continuing? Is she continuing on with you? Like, is she still a figure in your head when you're writing music? Maybe on the upcoming Flowers EP.
No, unfortunately, like she is kind of. I would like to continue it, but I had some like difficulties with the artist originally. Like she's great, but we just had some difficulties working together later on. The first it was fine, but then I just thought, I kind of had to just let it go and sign that off as like that part of that period, and now like this is a new period, if that makes sense. So
yeah, for sure.
The Flowers EP, I kind of is all centered around obviously flowers, of course. But that was like some things I had in my dreams. So like I was dreaming about a lot of flowers, like during lockdown and stuff. Was like different. First I dreamt about daisies, and then there was like other flowers came in, like sunflowers and like roses, like just weird dreams with flowers in it for some reason. So I just went with what my head was telling me.
Hell yeah! Do you write your dreams down? Are you like a dream journaler?
I don't. I probably should. But I don't. Yeah, I have loads of weird dreams, so I definitely should write them down.
Well, making a song about your dream probably counts as dream journaling, like technically.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a different form of journaling, I guess. I only ask because I've heard that if you journal them, you remember the new dreams easier. Like it's something about taking the time to remember the ones you've had somehow makes you more aware of them. Because I've often throughout my life played with trying to do what's it called when you realize you're dreaming while you're dreaming, and then you can like,
oh yeah,
what is that called? I
yeah,
can't think of what it's called right now, but I've always thought that'd be so cool, and I've always got like slightly close, but never. Lucid dreaming, that's it. I've never like totally made it.
That's quite difficult and scary, lucid dreaming. But I used to get a lot of sleep paralysis, so like you kind of are asleep and awake. If that is kind of lucid
wow,
dreaming,
yeah.
But the thing is, when you get that, you it feels quite evil.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's crazy.
Yeah, like you have like a dark. Sometimes like a dark figure or something, and it looks like something's watching you.
Oh my
and
god,
you can't move.
That's so scary. Oh my god.
I used to get that a lot. Not so much now, but I used to get that a lot.
Good, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're dreaming about like daisies and sunflowers and shit and not scary people. Yeah.
I know, imagine.
Although Monday the sleep paralysis EP might be cool too. I don't know. A dark turn. So I'm very impressed to hear that you're kind of new to this. I mean, I guess if you were on and off for a few years too, you've got some time under your belt. But for a first EP, Dawn is fantastic, and Moon and Yumi or Miyu,
Miyu,
yeah. Those are all really fantastic songs. I'm not surprised that Ninja Tune and Counter hopped on to represent your music, but how did you get involved with them as a label? And congrats on making it to Bonobo's label when he's who inspired you to make music. That's amazing. Like,
yeah, they're my favorite label, like Ninja Tune. So that's also that because my new EPs on Ninja Tune now are not counted. Obviously, they're owned by the same people,
right?
But yeah, Ninja Tune was like obviously the goal, so I was really excited. But that kind of came about really organically, but not organically. So like, I guess someone described me. Well, someone said I was entrepreneurial, but I don't think that's that case. I don't think I am. So I'm not very good at making money. But like, I guess I made quite
feel.
When I decided I was going to release my first EP, I had like a passion planner, and I like mapped out like the whole. Have you ever used them? They're really good.
I am big on planners, and Zach in the chat I know is a big passion planner user as well. So hopefully this inspires him to get back to it. I don't know.
It's really, really good for like planning out your year and just like getting things like that you really want to do done. And like I don't believe in necessarily like the word.
It's okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Manifest that word, girl. You got this.
I can't say it. I've lost the word. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, I don't believe in it, but I do believe in writing things down, and I do think when you write things down, they kind of seem to like solidify them in your head, and then it makes it easier for you to see like the path of what you need to do, where you need to go. So like I did a lot of that, and Ninja Tune were on there, but they were on my like I put them to be like safe on the 3-year plan.
Yeah, I love that.
I put it in there, and I had like lots of things like because I was DJing full time, but I was DJing like really rubbish stuff like birthday parties, just like I was just doing some weird stuff, nothing cool, and I hated doing it, and I wasn't having the fun. So I was playing open formats, I was DJing every genre, and I just wanted to do dance music, and then so I wrote everything down, I had it all planned out, and then I made this plan like to try and maybe my second label choice was like RNS because I think they're a cool label as well. Yeah. So like. I made this plan, like I searched who worked at RNS, because I tried to contact some people in the industry, but I didn't really want to like email people my music. I wanted them to come to me, but I was trying to like add people on Instagram or Facebook just so like they knew I was around or whatever. And but I added this guy on Instagram, and when you add someone, your posts come up right up their feed when you post
right, because you're the new follow.
Yeah, so I followed them, they followed me back. He didn't actually work at RNS, he used to work at RNS as like an A&R scout. And so then I posted my like clips for my EP that's coming up, like Dawn EP at the time, which is named after my mum. Funny enough, my mum's named Dawn.
Oh, awesome! Shout out, Mom. I was gonna say, do you test your beats in front of her? Like, Mom's gonna tell you if these beats are fire or not.
She's quite new to this kind of music, but she really enjoys like the more emotional stuff. But yeah, so like I did that, and then I posted the music, and it obviously would come off in his feed, and then I posted in my stories, and then I got a little message from him going, "Oh, this sounds cool," like the little clips, and like he just messaged me like, "Oh, this sounds cool," and I was like, "Okay, so he knows I exist, and he's liking what's coming." And then when I released the EP, he obviously listened to it because I posted it, and then he had posted it in his stories, like he reposted saying, "Oh, this is cool."
Wow. And that you just released on your own. You just like shared it on SoundCloud or something.
I put it out through AWOL as the distributor, but it was like, yeah, it was just me. It was just me. I paid money. I spent all my savings on PR. I paid for my own PR. I basically just put everything in it. Like, I paid for the artwork, paid for like a DJ mail out and all that stuff. Just like in the hope that if I don't believe in myself, like invest my money in myself, how can I ask someone else to like cut me a check for it? Like, So yeah, and then he reposted it, and then the guy from RNF, the actual A&R at RNF, saw it, and he was like, he messaged me, DM'd me, and this is Dan, he's actually my friend now. He messaged me, and he was like, "Oh, your music sounds really cool. I'm in London. We should meet up." And I was like, "Yes, it works."
It's amazing.
Without actually like emailing them, they've come to me. Like,
that is some sick shit right there.
So we met up, and then he was like really interested in it, and he was like, "Oh, the guy from RNF, he's like a bit of an older generation, so he's like, he might not actually be into it, even though I think it's really good." And I had Sacred at the time. I sent him Sacred, and he was like, "This sounds really cool." Like, he's like, "Oh, hold on, I'm gonna email a few friends that I think might like." So he emailed the guy who's my manager now, Mooj, and he emailed him, and he was like, sent the music, and was like, "Oh, do you know anyone who'd be interested in putting this song out? Like, this girl I know." And Mooj, my manager, he manages Marabou State and George Fitzgerald.
Nice.
So he knew he was into this type of music. So like, he's like, "Oh, you would know it if anyone would put it out." And then I was like, "Oh, thanks for that." And then like the next day, he's like texting me again. He's like, "I've had like 3 missed calls from Mooj, 2 emails, and then like going, I need to meet her." Like,
he loves it.
He loves it. So then, like, the next week I had a meeting with him, and obviously Marabou State are signed to Counter, so he has a good relationship with Institute and that. And then I met him, and he was like, "Oh, we'll take you on a trial basis." And like, we put out Sacred on my own first, and then he spoke to Institute, and he was like, "Oh, Institute have already heard of you. Apparently, they said they've all been like looking at you." And I was like, my tactics work.
It's working.
Like, they're already aware of me.
I love this story. It's so great. Keep going.
it was just weird. You know, when things are just like going really quickly and nuts. Like, I wasn't even prepared for it. And then so he did. So then and then after Sacred was done, it came out. Then I had like a meeting with loads of labels, not just Intune. Like, he was like, "I'll take you out to some other ones that were really interested."
Cool.
And then obviously I always wanted Ninja, and then I started to work on some new tracks for them, and Moon was one of those new tracks, and I went back with the A&R back and forth when I was writing some of those songs, just like, because he wanted to be involved with like giving feedback and like, I guess, my progression and stuff. And then like, we didn't hear for a while, they were taking their time, and then my managers were like, I said to them, "They need to tell you like by the end of the week what's going on, so you've done like enough work." I think you're freezing. Can you see me?
I can see you. Maybe I was just being too
okay,
still. I'll look more alive. I was engrossed in the story.
And then he was like, so then we got back forward, and then he was like, "I think I'm going to offer you like a single deal for the Moon." And then when we came back, he offered me he called me like the next day. He's like, "Oh, they've offered you a 3-album deal." And I
What?
was like,
Did you
yeah,
die? Like, what did you do that night to
yeah.
celebrate? That's huge. That's
We
amazing.
went out for drinks and stuff. Like it was good. It was fun, and my manager's like the most wonderful person as well. He's like literally an angel, and it's really weird. You know when you like think people are just meant to come into your life? So it's like all of that time I've just had nothing but lovely people with
That's so great.
coming into my life,
Yeah.
and like they're all so good in their souls. So it was an amazing thing to happen. And then so basically I had that as my 3-year goal, and it happened in a year. Or less than a year.
You need bigger goals.
Everything happened quick. I quit like my other DJing job. I got all like good DJing jobs.
You like drop the mic at the birthday parties, like fuck you guys, happy birthday, I'm out. I'm partying with Bonobo, like.
Yeah, it's just like everything just happened so quickly. I was like so humbled by the experience, and thought. And obviously then I was like a bit panicky. I was like, oh god, now I've like got this record deal. I have to do all this stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, right? Now you're like, oh, okay, those first like 5 songs were pretty good, but that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I got like to know them, and I got like with Minsoon, and they're lovely people as well. Like everyone I work with over there are just good people. I don't know if it's just dance music or I've just been fortunate, but everyone's a good person.
I think that it's a little bit of both. I think that this culture definitely welcomes kindness as a tenant, but I'm pretty sure there are douchebags out there. I might have seen one or two of them in my day. So that's a lovely origin story. So
people always say to me like, "Oh, have you not had like any bad experience with a female or this or like stuff?" And I'm like, nope. Like, not that I'm saying they don't exist, but I'm just like, no one's ever talked down to me. No one's ever been anything but respectful and like lovely and kind and
hell yeah.
Yeah.
We
and,
stand Ninja Tune.
Yeah. My manager was like, you attract the kind of people like you want to be around, and the kind of people like you attract like for like.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. He said, he's like, you're like that, so then you attract other people like that. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So, and me and him are like best friends now.
That's so great. That's so awesome.
He's not even my manager. Like, he's literally like my.
He's just your mate.
He calls me and be like, I'm not your manager, I'm your mate. And I'm like, I know.
You're like, yeah, did you see those fire memes I texted you? Like, bro, come on.
No, literally, I've been telling him when I'm on the toilet, like, talking about
yes.
Like,
yo, the real business gets done on the toilet, for sure. Like, that is... shit is happening.
Yeah. He's wonderful, and everyone's wonderful at Ninja. They're
That's
really
so
great
cool.
Team. They work really hard.
It's good to hear that too.
Really,
you like knowing that the people you admire are good people at the end of the day as well. Like, I think that that's
how
true.
How disappointed would I be that if I got signed there and then they were all really horrible, and I'd be like, my dream label, whatever.
No, but I think that is maybe why the music is good too. You know what I mean? Like when there is a good culture of respect and passion for the art itself. I think that is maybe what makes it a good label, you know? Like, and all these cool artists want to work there, like your manager said, like attracts like. It's cool. So you did speak about Flowers briefly. You said that it was inspired by dreams, and it's about flowers, but Sister is the lead single, and that's not a... I mean... Is it about a flower? Is it about a sister? I don't know. Do you have a sister?
The songs aren't necessarily about flowers. It's like the imagery and like the feel of it was like kind of about summer and flowers. So each song actually was made like around something else. Like so, Sister was about obviously I discovered I had a sister in lockdown.
Wow, you discovered. How did you discover that?
Via Facebook. And I just seen a comment on something, and I was like, I think you're my sister. And she's like, I think so too. So she's like my half sister from my dad's side. So,
wow.
And then we were like talking every day. I don't have any like other sisters, and we talked every day in lockdown, and we just seemed to get on like so naturally. Like,
that's amazing.
yeah, it was a really weird experience because obviously lockdown was already a bit crazy.
Oh my God,
And
yeah. Like a strange, unreal, never before moment in life, and then met with that sort of surprise. Like, okay, life changing. Are you guys around the same age?
No, she's older than me, so I'm 28 and she's 36.
Okay.
So she's older than me. But she's lovely, and we get on so well, and I was so happy just to like talk to her and stuff, and then
Wow.
just kind of, I was just writing a song around there, and I even she heard it like at the demo session. She was like, I wrote a song today called Sister, and I like sent it to her, and we were like talking about it, and like it's really cute. Even though like I didn't write the lyrics aren't related to that. The lyrics were like from another song. I just like there was another song that I wrote with someone else that I cut them up and like made thing. But the actual instrumental was like I was thinking about her when I was like, writing it, like thinking about the situation and how I felt, and like so she saw it in like the demo phase, and then I went back and showed it again. And she was like really happy.
That's so cool! Holy heck! Wow. Have you guys been able to meet up in person? Like,
yeah, we did when our lockdown finished. Like a few weeks after that, we managed to meet up, and then a few weeks ago, when my single sister came out, I actually went to visit her because she's got a son, like a little boy. So I went to see him. Obviously, he's my nephew.
Yeah.
So I went to meet him for the first time, and I had a little sleepover at their house and stuff.
That's so cute.
That was cute. So we met twice, and then we speak on the phone. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm really glad that your new family is warm and welcoming and is a happy addition to your life. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, wow. So what else can you tell us about the Flowers EP? It comes out, I believe, October 16th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's been moved.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually coming out in November the 13th, I think.
Okay.
They just moved things.
It's coming. That's what we know.
They wanted to air things out for a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it'll be in November now. It's dropping. But yeah, that's got 4 tracks on it. Obviously, Sisters was the first single. And then there's another song called Change, which I actually wrote. The vocal was written on a Spotify session. Spotify did this like live electronic music session thing that like where they had all different musicians come in and different producers and
that's cool.
Liners and stuff. And we wrote that, me, her, and a guy called Etherwood who does like liquid drum and bass.
Ooh.
We wrote a song, and later on we kind of just left. It wasn't like a finished song. It was just kind of like a little rough demo thing. And then I just had it sat on my computer. I never really thought about it. And then when I started writing Change, I was like, oh, this could do with a vocal. And then I went and had a look through my hard drive, and I found that, and the vocal just happened to be in the right key.
Wow.
Really cool. And I was like, and what luck is this? This happens to work. So I just put the vocal on the new track, and then worked around that from there, and I came up with the song Change, which is like, yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's a bit different to what I've done before, because it's slightly more poppy, I guess, because Gabrielle, she's from like a more pop world, so the vocal is all of that, but it's kind of like got 80s drums on it, and it's like got a 303 in it, which is like my favourite thing at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's a bit throwback in that way.
Nice.
Still cool, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit different, that one. And then the third track is what's the third track? Oh, a song called Renegade, which I always do this. Like, I never actually have to write the vocals to the song. I take them from other songs.
It's working out. Why not? Mix and match, dude.
So I wrote a song with Elle, who's Elle Murphy. She's singing on Renegade. We wrote a song for another instrumental. She wrote that at my house with me, and then I left it on my hard drive. And then I started writing Renegade after. So there's so many things that influence this song. So I started writing. So I've been watching, you know, that basketball show that was on Netflix, you know, about Michael Jordan, the documentary.
Oh, I didn't actually get to see it, but yeah, it was huge. The Last Dance.
Yeah. So everyone was watching. I was watching that, and it was really actually a really good documentary. But I
want to see it.
fell in love with Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, Freaks Unite. Yeah.
I just fell in love with him. I was just like, this guy is just doesn't care, and he's just so amazing, like fun or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I remember someone saying on Twitter, I said something, like, commented about him, and they were like, oh, he's the original Renegade. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool, like, he is a bit.
Yeah.
Like that. And then at the time I was writing Renegade, well, I didn't call it Renegade at the time, I started writing it, and then I named it Renegade. Because like halfway through, I just changed the title to what I think it's like about. Like,
yeah.
Like, I changed it to Renegade, and then I started writing it, and I started putting it, kind of scoring it to like old school gangster movies, like British gangster movies, or like Tarantino movies and stuff like that. So I was playing the song while watching these movies.
That's sick.
And it was fitting so perfectly, and as I'm writing it, I'm like, it's like cutting in, and I was like, this feels like driving, it feels like,
yes.
a gangster movie is going to happen. So like, yeah, so I did that when I was doing the instrument, and then I went and got the vocal, and I was like, I wonder if this fits over here, like, again, I was like, oh, it's in the same key, and it makes it sound really good.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, that's okay together, and then, like, the song doesn't say Renegade in it, but I left it called Renegade just because,
the spirit of it.
Dennis Rodman, and I was like,
yes,
this makes sense because it is a bit different and it's a bit out there, and yeah, so yeah, that's how that song was born. And then the last song was a song called. Sorry, am I running over? Do you need to go?
You go, keep going. These are great stories. I do not care.
The last song was a song by it's called Denver. It used to be called something else. It's called Denver now.
Denver, like Colorado? Denver?
No, Denver.
Denver. Oh, okay.
Denver, yeah. It's like it's a Malian word, which it means godmother.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'd worked with some Marley vocals before, but I could never get the sample cleared.
Oh wow.
So I'd been searching for like either someone to re-sing that sample or someone to write new samples. And I've contacted a woman called Lucy who specialised in Malian music, and just like asked her, do you know anyone you could recommend? And she recommended the trio de Cali, the singer Hawa, who's a famous griot in Malian music. So, which is basically, they have these families in Malia where they basically sing the history of like Malia, basically.
That's
like,
so cool.
So like the songs get passed down to like this families to like their kids that can sing, and the next one and the next one, and then also they write new songs, you know. So then they get passed down, and so it's like how they tell their story.
Yeah, like basically. Old oral traditions, the way that we all used to tell stories that way. I don't know if it was always sung. That makes sense, but yeah.
And they have like this amazing tone to their voice. I can't explain it. It's like, I don't know. A lot of people like Malian singers. You'll find that people, like, I didn't even know this, but like Disclosure have been using them, and I know that like on some of the Gorillaz tracks is in Malian singers. But I never thought about that before. I just come across it myself, and I was like, oh, these vocals are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something really emotional about it, and so she put me in contact with Hawa, and she said, oh, actually, we've got a song that's unreleased. I can get you the stems.
And it was in the same key. No, I'm just kidding.
It was, actually. No, it wasn't. They sent me the stems. Basically, I'm lucky enough that they were signed to my publisher or their label. My publisher owned the label the song was on.
Oh, okay.
And the song wasn't out. So it was quite easy for me to get hold of the parts. And then, I got the song. And then I just wrote a whole new song and chopped it up and just made a whole new like dance. So this is the most dancey track on there. And the only thing I kept from it was her vocal, and then they had a real balafon. So it's got like a real balafon in it. So I kept those two parts and then rewrote the whole thing and made this cool like dance track. And then it has a beautiful meaning because the song's actually about like they have like parties for when like kids are born, or like christening or weddings and stuff like that. They have like really big street parties, and they always have like one of these singers at these parties sing songs and tunes. And it's basically, they say it's kind of like quite a song about female empowerment, because in the song she's asking everyone to like support her, come together, because it's the godmother's job at the party to raise money support the family. So she has to like pull in strings and ask people, like, you know, get money for this party, for the wedding, and for the new couple, or for the baby that's born. So like, this is a song where she's singing and saying like it's a great celebration. Like, won't you help me? Won't you lend me a hand? Like, can you help me make this a great day?
That's
and,
so
like,
cool.
This is a wonderful thing that's happening, and it's quite a patriarchal society. So this is like quite the only time where a female can really be quite loud and expressive. So it's like, that's why the song, I was like, it's such a great meaning for the song, because it's not only is it a sense of community and like got wonderful lyrics about like celebrating, but it's also like when a woman can really like show her emotions and be herself, you know?
Yeah. That's amazing. Every track has such a great story behind it. Thanks for sharing all of that. That was like the most proper EP teaser ever. I'm just like, so tomorrow, can I hear this? Like,
every song is so different, because I wanted to just do like fun and diverse like EPs. I wanted to try some things. And like, every song is different. They have like a different meaning to them. And it is kind of like a bunch of flowers, you know? Like,
like a bouquet.
And, it's a bouquet for you.
That's amazing. Well, God, I mean, I'm really excited to see what you do when you put a full-length album together. I think you've begun working on a project, yeah? I'm sure it's more in the beginning stages. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say in the beginning stages that it won't be that long. The timeline that I'm working to is not that long, so yeah, you won't have too long to wait.
Okay, awesome. I've heard you're big on deadlines, on giving yourself deadlines.
Oh, yeah, I love working to deadlines. Even if it stresses me out, that's how I get stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm like a really big rule follower for some reason. I don't know why. I've got a thing about I can't break rules. I can't be late. I can't do this. I can't do that. It stresses me out. Like, so yeah, give me a deadline and you'll for sure, even if it's a fake deadline, you'll get it on time. Like, you'll get it early, basically.
Oh my God, my fucking editors wish I was you. No, I'm good. I'm good with a deadline. Yeah, maybe 12 hours late. It'll be good when you get it. No one will be mad at me.
As long as it's good, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's the key. That's the key. TSHA, it's been so wonderful having you as a guest. Thank you so much for taking this time to... did you catch a good sunset, at least, in the background?
I think I was looking at you. So.
Well, I'm kind of a sunset, you know?
You are a sunset.
Tell everybody it was nice. Is there?
Where did you get that shirt from? I feel like I had that shirt.
You know, it's a jumper even. There's like, it goes all the way down to the shorts and everything. My friend gave it to me. She was gonna get rid of it and take it to a thrift store, and she was like, "You want this? You should wear this. Like, you like colors." But she probably got it from a thrift store too. I mean, it looks like it's definitely like a real 90s thing to me. I don't know. We're making it real 90s. TSHA, is there anything else that you would like to share before I let you go to your birthday party that you're not DJing this time?
No, nothing else to say. I think I've talked too much already. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait for Flowers to come out, and Life Escape says he needs it. I know Allie is really excited to see it, hear it. And I wish you all the best. It sounds like you've got a really magical thing going on, and I hope that this pattern of luck continues. And
probably not. I'll probably just pour my album come out.
No, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. Wow, enjoy your night.
And too much good luck. Come on,
yeah, break a leg. What do we say? Don't say good luck. Say break a leg or whatever, and then it keeps going.
Yeah, I'll break a leg. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Right,
I hope I get to chat with you again soon. This was great.
No, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.